Hello, Stephen White, Trek Boy from Steve Arts. Yes, finally, season 13 of Star Trek Discovery. I'm kind of surprised. I thought the episode was going to be the battle, and then the final episode would be there'd be some thing that was going to come in and change everything, and then the last episode would be setting up the next season and be some twist, something because they have to do something like that. I can't believe they're just going to resolve all the things from all the plots from this season and have it all pay off and just have it play out. But it looks like it's going to go that way. This episode was mostly just leading up to the battle and working out the plan for what they're going to do, and then just leading up to preparing for it. And then, yeah. So I was kind of surprised by that. I thought we'd have a short battle, the best parts would be over and done, and then the next episode would be setting up something new or dragging out some of the other stuff, some of the older stuff. Now, there's, of course, we start off the episode where they're about to self-destruct the ship. So we have a slow evacuation. Michael Burnham's doing a monologue. People are going through their stuff, saying goodbye to the ship. It's not the fast, panicked action approach I thought they were going to take. Well, there's a little bit of that in the scene, but so that's interesting. And we finally, through a very interesting, basically they put a bunch of bridges across to the Enterprise. Instead of beaming people, for some reason everyone walks across. It's interesting, but I didn't seem very safe having these two ships joined together by just some force fields. And yep. So, but we finally get onto the Enterprise and we actually see the corridors with the orange and the grates, and I think there was a little bit of TOS theme in there, and that was nice. It was interesting. You feel like you're on the Enterprise. The conference room looks a lot like the one from the original series. They've done a decent job of redoing all of it in Discovery style. Not retconning, rebooting it, doing a soft, superficial visual reboot, which is what they said they were going to do. Now, I don't think they should have done that, but they have done that. So there's not much point in looking at it like it's like it should be the old Star Trek and bitching and whining because it doesn't look like the original Enterprise, because we know, due to all the time incursions and the fact that it started off being Prime Universe in the first place anyway, which is not the same universe as the original Star Trek, even though they want us to think that. So I can let it go because it's not Kirk's Enterprise. It's not Pike's Enterprise, soon to be Kirk's Enterprise from the old show, and they're not pretending it is. They're not doing a Mirror Darkly like Enterprise did. So we just have to look at it for what it is and just judge it and review it based on that, not complain that it's not what we want to be, because that's what it is. So, but it's interesting to see the bridge in motion. Like really, it looks a lot better than the screen caps, which I just saw a couple before the episode. But before that, all I had seen was the shot of the bridge view screen in Red Alert. And I was kind of surprised that they spent so much time. There's so much neon, and then you have these dark patches, and it's very contrasty, and it doesn't have that warm, monotone sort of layered feel of the other bridges, which I think is a bit of a mistake, but that is kind of more Discovery style. So it's like the Tron Bridge. I'm referring it to as the Tron Bridge. We've got the I Bridge, which looks like the Apple Store. A lot of people complained about JJ's films. Well, this is the Tron Bridge. So it's interesting that the ship is ready to self-destruct. Everyone's evacuated and they're just waiting. They're saying goodbye to the Discovery, and she doesn't go. She does not blow. She does not self-destruct. They try shooting her. She has shields. So basically, the AI has incorporated itself into the Discovery, and the Discovery now is defending itself and acting like an entity on some level. But apparently, it still can't get full true sentience without the sphere data, which they're not explaining, but it's Discovery, so apparently we just have to go with the reasons, which aren't there. It'd just be nice if they explained a lot of these little things that just don't make sense, and we're just supposed to just go on faith like we're in some weird cult, that it's going to work out. It's going to make sense. The answers will all be there in the end. That's what we keep being told, and I'm not actually sure if that's going to happen or if there's just going to be a big old glass of Kool-Aid at the end of all this. But okay, I'm looking at my notes. Then we get to Poe. Basically, we've sort of worked out that Michael Burnham does take over the role, because the plan is, oh God, I forgot the plan. The plan is they're going to make a suit, use the time crystal, open up a hole into the future. She's going to go through, Discovery's going to follow her and stay there 900, 950, 1,000 years into the future. And that way they take all the seer data out of the equation, out of the timeline, out of Control's clutches, and that's going to be the solution, which is where we know Discovery ends up at the end. Well, at least in one timeline, we know in the Short Treks, which one was it? Short Treks, Calypso. We know in Calypso that the Discovery has been ordered to stay and wait. It's been there for 1,000 years, and it's basically, we thought the computer had evolved into its own artificial intelligence, but now we know that it's actually the Sphere Data Control, AI, whatever you want to call it, has just made a home on Discovery and has limited itself to Discovery and has been sitting there for 1,000 years. So that's the plan. Michael's martyring herself, like apparently that's her reason to exist, is to be a martyr and to be the best ever, and self-sacrifice and all that, and she gets dragged for it, which is pretty good, seeing Spock and Shosho drag her for being her, which is good because we as the audience are sick of some of her shit, and it's nice to see the characters pull her out on it and acknowledge it. So that's good. And the crew basically decides to join her. She's going to go off and do this mission all by herself, and then the main crew basically says, we're going to join you, we're a family. So apparently they're all going to just jump on the Discovery and go into the future 900 something years, and it's going to be, I guess the next season is going to be Voyager, but lost in space, but lost in time space. So that'll be interesting. Are they going to do a whole season where they're in this other quadrant, away from Star Trek, out of time, out of everything? Are they going to go to future? Are they going to contact future Starfleet? Or are they going to go so far out and forward that they're totally out of touch? So that could be interesting. And basically Discovery ends up staying there after they all escape or die or live their lives, like that two-parter Enterprise, where the ship gets sent to a different time and just lives out 20 or 30 years waiting for 50 years or something, waiting for the Enterprise so they can tell them what they know. I'm not sure what's going to happen, and I'm not trying to work out what's going to happen because I know they had no overall plan. The current writers and showrunners are doing damage control and fixing all the problems from the other 3 or 4 showrunners leaving, and I don't think the overall design of the series was there, and if it was, it's been changed. So I don't think there's any real way to guess what's going to happen. I think they're just sort of making it up as they go along, doing what they think works, and it's working okay, but I don't have any real faith that you can really look closely and work it out, that it's just going to happen, and at the end there will be some big what the fuck moment to get everyone's attention, or something to try and pull us into the next season. I'm guessing it's Lost in Space, Voyager style, Lost in Time Space. I don't know what you'd call the next season. We sort of had War Trek, which went into Mirror Universe Trek. Then we had the Red Angel chasing Spock, and now it looks like we're going to have Lost in Time Space Trek. So a few things that stood out. Sarek finds Michael through their Katra connection and shows up to say goodbye to her, and then just warps out and doesn't happen to save them. I mean, they apparently, Control has cut them off from Starfleet by getting rid of all the relays. I'm like, well, couldn't you just ask Papa Sarek to call and say, hey, we need reinforcements. We're about to get killed by 30 ships. No, they just go off. They say goodbye and make the peace with Michael and leave. And I'm like, you want to drop by Starfleet on the way and get him to send over some reinforcements? No, that's not even... I don't even understand how to take that. That's just one of those plot holes. I don't know what that is. One of the good parts is number one. She's great. She basically weaponizes everything on the ship, all the shuttles, everything, to try and fight, because there are just 2 ships against 30 Section 31 ships, and they've got to hold them off while Michael gets out into another time. And Jet Reno is sort of taking a hit with that, because she's going, in order to get the Poe weapon, the Poe engine, because Poe's supplying the energy for them with her technology, it's not going quick enough. The only way to make it quicker is to expose herself to the time crystals, which Michael did as well. So Michael knows the future. That's why she knew their approach wouldn't work and they'd have to do what they're doing. But whether she saw the final future, and that's how it's going to go, is unclear. She saw a future where the Enterprise was being destroyed, everyone's being killed, Leland boards and shoots everyone. But was that a possible future? One of the timelines, the timeline for this? I don't think there's any real way to make sense of it. I think it is a bit of a mess, and I'm just trying to just go with the flow and not getting caught up on the details, because I think it could possibly drive me insane. But it was a decent episode. I did enjoy it. Like I said, season 1 I hated. Season 2 I've embraced it as a different reality timeline, just like the JJ movies, which I was able to go with. So I don't hate it like I did before. It doesn't drive me quite as mad. Now it's more just the plot holes and the writing problems and things like that, that problems that you'd have just when looking at a series critically. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll probably do a separate video about the bridge, because that's exciting to look at. I need to think about that a bit more, and I'm just going to say goodbye. Feel free to subscribe, like, give me any suggestions in the comments. Thanks, bye.